Hi there, Alex Costly here. I'm doing another video about measuring and tracking in Agile, and specifically I'm going to get onto OKRs. So this is a good follow-on from the missions and purpose video. If you've not watched that one, maybe just go back and watch that, because once you've got your group or team's mission, then you would want to look at what your objectives are and how you measure success with the key results. Before I do, let's go have a look at how traditionally we would measure success in an organization or in a team. So these triangles, inverted triangles, I've talked about a lot, and you can go again on my blog and read a lot about them. But traditionally, we work on the regular triangle, or pointing triangle, where we manage resources and schedule. They're the things that we manage, and so hence we measure those. So what we've been looking at traditionally is how are you doing, how much is it costing, and are you on time? Are we there yet? How much is it costing? That's what we manage in traditional projects. In Agile, we don't do those. We fix those two things. So that's the triangle that's facing downwards. And what we really do is look at the scope. So what we really want to manage and measure is scope. And more point with Agile is what's the effectiveness, what's the performance of that scope. So this is why you've got to measure different things if you're running an Agile ecosystem, because you're not doing it with the up pointing triangle. We've got fixed resources and schedule rather than managing those two things. So let's have a look at the kind of things that we're going to do. So if you are working in an Agile way, but you've got people who come from a traditional approach, they're going to get quite nervous about the fact you're not managing your resources or schedule. And so you do need to demonstrate a certain level of efficiency and that you're doing that. So I will look at these in future videos as well. So velocity, burn down, the things that you do day to day and looking after your pennies. And the theory is if you look after your pennies, the pounds will look after themselves. So we make sure we're managing the efficiency in the team, and you've got servant leaders within the team to help with that. I'm not going to talk about that anymore today. What I really want to look at is how do we see how the scope is performing. It's good to say, oh, we've delivered another feature into the product, or we've made this change, but actually, how is that helping you achieve the team's mission? And for that, we have objectives and key results, which is called OKRs. So OKRs. So let's have a look at objectives for a second. Now, I've been around a while, and I remember SMART objectives. These are very similar, except they don't have the smarts to them. So let's just have a look. It's an objective. It's got to be based on your mission. So your mission might be to get to the moon. Objective number one might be to get someone into orbit. So it's got to be realistic, but it can be aspirational. It's realistic that we can get a person into orbit, but it's a big thing to do. But you might want to, in business, focus on what the objectives are. Be faster, be cheaper, the most customer-centric. Those are the kind of things that you look for. So growth, revenue, cost reduction, customer focus. Those are the kind of things that you're going to put in your objectives. You don't need to be measurable at this point, because these aren't smart objectives. These are more aligned to your mission and more aspirational. That's where the key results come in. They're the smart bit. Now, we don't time box them because we just so they're not time specific. We're not managing that time. Remember, we've got those fixed time boxes. So we will look at this key result on our cadence. So every 2 weeks or every 4 weeks or every 6 weeks, whatever you decide. But these are really important attributes of a key result. Has to be measurable. So before you even start, what can we measure? You should start with. You have to be able to attribute it to the work that you're doing. It's no good having a measure, well, let's measure NPS, but there's 15 teams that are doing could affect that. You've got to be able to measure and attribute it to the changes that you're doing. And it's got to be achievable at the end of the day. So if you've got an NPS is a good one. You might have an objective to be the most customer-centric company or most customer-centric web page. An NPS should be around 80. Don't put it at 100. It's just not achievable. 80 is achievable. Tough, but achievable. And the key result, you'll be trend. You're looking for the trends towards these things. They're not absolute, but you really are looking for the trends. So that's objectives and key results. Thanks very much for listening. Loads more videos on my website if you want to learn more about Agile ecosystems. I hope you enjoyed this video.